What's up, everybody? Quick question for you. 2024 election is looming. Will the city of Milwaukee turn red in 2024? Let's talk about it. What's up, family? I hope that you are blessed. I hope that you are safe, and I hope that you are well. This is the Damien Jones podcast. I'm your host, Damien Jones. I have a very special guest with me on today, Mr. Orlando Owens, the founder of Project Move the Needle. And we're going to hear a lot of great things from him in just a moment. But here's the larger question on today. And Orlando is joining us from Milwaukee, and he's a very pivotal player in Milwaukee politics, particularly Republican politics in Milwaukee, and especially as it relates to the black vote in Milwaukee and Wisconsin being a swing state and a battleground state. And so joining us on today is our dear brother, Orlando Owens from Project Move the Needle. Orlando, welcome to the Damien Jones podcast.
Hey, my friend, thank you for having me this evening, and I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, thank you for making time. You and I have been going back and forth for a while about setting up this conversation. And, you know, I've just been watching. And before I say this, hey, everybody, like the broadcast, share the broadcast, follow me on Twitter. Orlando will share his Twitter handle in just a moment as well. Follow him. But share this conversation out. Leave us comments about what you think about the conversation. But yeah, you and I have been trying to set this up for months, and I've just been watching the great work that you've been doing for years now in the city of Milwaukee, rather, and just getting out the vote, energizing the base, making it clear for black folks about the options of what the Republican Party can do, as we are in this climate where a lot of black people are super upset with the Democratic Party. Like that relationship, that abusive relationship, is at its wit's end, right? And they are looking for the options, and I'm glad that they have brothers like you that can, they can relate to them, that can talk them through the process and let them know what their options are. But Orlando, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, man, I'm from Milwaukee. I was raised in Milwaukee, went to Tulsa West Suburban School, but I got my degree from Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
I had a chance to go down to Bethune-Cookman, had a pretty good basketball game. Y'all beat us.
Okay.
But been in Republican politics now for almost 20 years.
Okay.
I'm a dad, husband. I'm 50 years old, and I'm a dad of a 3-year-old. So
wow! Congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
So
yeah,
I work for U.S. Senator Ron Johnson doing the daytime. Been with Ron Johnson now for about 9 years.
Okay.
of the Joseph Project, so please check that out. That's a inner city jobs program that we run with a local church, and I'm one of the founders. The church is called Greater Praise. The founding pastor Jerome Smith, my best friend, passed 3 years ago. Same time my son was born, pastor was making the transition, so I know God's hand was on it. And we're doing it now. We almost are to 160 classes, and we help young men, mostly black and brown men, find employment. I am the chair of Milwaukee North Branch in Milwaukee County. Milwaukee County is the only county in the state of Wisconsin that we break our party up into 6 smaller segments. The rest of the counties have one state party, one county party. Our county is so big; we're the biggest county in the state. It's so big with so much diversity. We've broken up our county party into pieces. I am the north side, which is the black, brown, Latino area of the city of Milwaukee. And this is my 3rd term, and I'm excited. I've been with the party now about 15, 20 years. Worked for the RNC. I've worked for the state party. I've been a candidate before, ran statewide, and enjoyed my tour across the state of Wisconsin. Got a chance to meet the good old boys, and I can tell you, I didn't get called a racist name at all. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see when I ran for treasurer, I had a good time meeting them boys in the back of the woods.
Absolutely.
Trump is meeting, and those are the Trump voters. And it took a black man to discover where the Trump voters were. From there, I ran also locally here in my home area here in the city of Milwaukee for state rep. And that's when a lot of this kind of started, with understanding how to move the needle in Milwaukee. Now, we don't have to necessarily win Milwaukee or Milwaukee County.
Yeah.
We just need needle.
So let me,
Henceforth,
so let me kind of ask that question. Project Move the Needle, right? When we hear that term, moving the needle, we're thinking progress, something that's going to push forward. Maybe it's a new concept, maybe it's a new idea, but here you founded Project Move the Needle, particularly to do what?
to just increase the voter turnout for Republicans,
Republicans as a whole.
as a whole, but in the
Okay.
state, because again, we probably won't win, the city of Milwaukee or the county,
Sure.
but statewide races and national races, we just need to move the needle up by
Yes.
4 percentage points.
Yes.
10,000 votes. Donald Trump lost Wisconsin by 20,000. He won and lost Wisconsin by 20,000 votes, and that was throughout the entire state of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
We can get 10,000 additional votes out of Milwaukee, or have people to be much more, selectful on where they put their vote. Make sure I have no problem if a person has done their research and they also say, I want to vote for a Democrat. If you've done your research and you're an informed voter, hey, more power to you. But if you do your research and say, you know what, I'm not certain where I should pass my vote, I want to do a little bit more research. If we can help people just be more educated and just don't blindly go give it, your vote. Because my thing is, if you can't vote for Trump, don't give it to Biden just on the strength.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Please don't. But let me say this. No, and I love what you're doing with Project Move the Needle, because here's the thing, right? I tell people all the time, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So when we talk about, even in Chicago, you got a red movement going there. Chicago turned red. Now you got Milwaukee, turning red. And when we say turn red, we understand that these historically strongholds of Democrats for Black folk, we know it's not going to turn majority red, right? But what we're saying is, if in the previous cycle, Black turnout for Republicans was 15%, just for example, then we're saying this time around we're trying to get to 20% or 25%, because that 10-point uptick makes a difference, as you talk about, in total votes when you put it all into the pot. Is that correct?
That is exactly what we're talking about. Again, we can just move that needle, get a few more votes. We can win if we can win the city, win a better portion of city of Milwaukee. Do better in the county of Milwaukee. We win the state of Wisconsin. We win Wisconsin. We got a good chance of winning the White House.
Yeah. Let me tee up this video here. You did an interview with, looks like I guess it's your local ABC or what have you. Let me play this and just kind of get your thoughts afterwards.
And Republicans are looking to capitalize.
We want to target our areas. We want to see what we can get out of it.
Preparing to mobilize their own field group under the GOP field office at MLK and North.
How polarizing is Trump with this segment of voters, do you think?
I don't know. I think a lot of the people on the block like Trump. They like him a lot. A lot of men like Trump. They can understand the when you're back against the wall attitude. They like someone who's a straight shooter.
So let's unpack that for a moment. You said black men like Trump. Kind of expound on that. What did you mean by that? What's the attraction?
I think a lot of men, we gravitate to somebody who keeps it real and keeps it straight. We understand that sometimes our words are not always the most heartwarming, but we can appreciate someone as another man to know where you are and what you stand for. Mm-hmm. And I think men understand the language of Trump. And in that video, the guy asked me, well, how do you get black women who are the backbone and the most loyal base of voters for Democrats? I said, help black men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Help black men.
Mm-hmm.
Because those women want a good man. They want their men to be successful. And those men want to be successful. So we help black men. We win black women. Or just to move the needle.
Right. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've been in politics now for 14 years now. Okay. And man, I was a Democrat right? It's all I knew, Democrat. So I got involved in politics, cut my teeth, started doing some good work as a Democrat. And I did I'm very proud of some of the work that we did. But eventually, as I began to, I guess what I want to say, accept the calling, because I was wrestling with being a Republican for a while, because a lot of the Democratic stuff just didn't make sense to me, if I was being honest with myself. And I saw the trajectory of what they were doing in terms of the family, in terms of this LGBTQ agenda, and other things, And so when Joe Biden was elected, I was like, man, this is it. Mm-mm. And if y'all think Joe Biden is suitable to lead this country, I'm done, right? Because this KKK, longtime antebellum racist, and you think I'm just going to turn a blind eye after he locked up black men in that crime bill and was proud about it and called them super predators and they can't be revived, they can't be redeemed, and so forth and so on. I said, man, any respectable black man is not going to. So I said, I'm not going in the community and vouching for this, But then on the other hand, to your point, I saw Trump and I saw his bravado. I saw how he was a straight shooter. I saw how he pushed back on the fake news media and set the record straight as it relates to that. I saw how he always stood on his square, right? I'm gonna tell you, a preacher taught me this. One of my favorite preachers taught me. He said, "Man, strong wrong always beats weak right. Even if you're wrong, man, you better stand on your square, right?" And so that for me, so I'm a Republican today simply because of Donald Trump. And I'm a Trumper to the end of the earth. I'm Black MAGA to the end of the earth. And as he continues to get these charges put on him, I am with him 1,000%, because when adversity comes, you better stand strong. And the fact that they keep messing with him shows that he's over the target, right? And so I think black men are going to show up in droves. I think black women are going to show up at a higher rate. I think particularly these Gen Zers are big time supporting Trump. And I think people are going to sleep on that. And Democrats they're shaking in their boots. They are afraid. Worst thing they could have done was make Joe Biden the nominee. And so I think this is going to be a bloodbath, but we take nothing for granted. And we keep pushing, keep working. Here's my question to you is 50 Cent. Today, we saw him on Capitol Hill. I should have queued it up so I could show folks, but he went on Capitol Hill today. He met with Democrats. He was surrounded by Ben Crump. That's another conversation. And other black Democrats, whatever. But I also, which I love, I saw him taking pictures with Speaker Mike Johnson. Took some pictures with Lauren Boebert. He was with other Republicans as well. He's, networking across the board, across the aisle, no matter who it is, right? But before he got into his vehicle to head back to his hotel, reporter asked him, how do you see black people connecting with Trump? What was the question? I think you remember what the question was.
What is the attraction to Trump? He said something to the fact of black men. He said, I see black men relating to Trump.
Yeah.
That Trump is getting RICO'd.
Right. And I think some people may see that as him trolling a little bit, but there's truth to that, right? Because again, it's not racial pandering to say that black people can find a relation to Trump based on the legal woes that he's dealing with. Listen, I've had legal trouble. Maybe you have. I'm sure we know some folks that have had some legal trouble. You got me? So therefore, there's a relation there because now he knows what it's like. One of the things I've told people about in today's world of politics, people don't want these squeaky clean politicians that say the right things, that are holding the babies in the pictures and things. Like, everybody got something going on in their life. And so if to best represent me, I want to know that you've paid a mortgage. I want to know that you're paying taxes, and I want to know that you've gotten dirty a little bit, and maybe you got some legal trouble. So therefore you can go advocate from a place of experience, legislative halls. Right. And so I just think people are really, really dismissing how vital that is. Do you think a person like 50 Cent, and you see other rappers and people in popular culture that are advocating for Trump, How do you think that can energize the black base?
Well, let's be clear. No one can advocate for a felon better than a felon.
Right.
Trump passed the First Step Act, and this is going to be the next act because,
Right.
and if anyone is going to be equipped to take on the system and say, yeah, I don't know, not saying that everyone, is always getting the raw deal, but clearly the system can be set against you. I think Trump revealed to a lot of people in America, maybe even Caucasian Americans, didn't know that there's such thing as dirty cops.
Yeah.
James Comey to the whole FBI thing. So that whole thing has opened people's eyes and say, well, maybe there is some corruption here.
Yeah.
And Trump has been the victim of that. And what they've done is just made him a martyr. Because now, and I think I may have said this already, Milwaukee being one of the highest incarcerated zip codes in the top 3 every year, top 5 every year, these young men in Milwaukee, and especially in Wisconsin, as a felon, you can vote once you off paper.
Yeah.
So if Project Move the Needle can connect with more felons, say, man, you need to go petition your PO before the election and go vote, man. If you like Trump, go out and vote for yourself.
So what are you when you go out in the community? What are you hearing from young and middle age and older black people? What are you hearing from black people about this election?
I think people like Trump because of the adversity. And I think so often Democrats say this question of like, so what do the Republicans have to offer? I said, see, that's where you're wrong. It's not what the Republicans have to offer. It is where Democrats have failed.
Talk.
So stop me what we have, because we do have an agenda. But let's be clear. Let's keep the focus of where it is on Milwaukee having one of the highest male unemployment rates under 35, having had a big scandal here in our school system that they just raised the property values to pay for a school tax increase, or the biggest public school in the state, and our kids are failing. Now, when you raise the taxes up for the school, who you think the property taxes go up on? All you renters. That's black and brown poor folk.
Yeah.
So again, it is not so much, although we do have a great agenda to offer, but it's a Democrat failure. And that's when you pin down any Democrat, they have a problem trying to square that point. Get it off me as far as saying, well, what y'all gonna do? See, the problem is you've had the people's trust.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, your mayor is a black Democrat, is that correct?
County executive is too.
County executive.
And the sheriff.
And then who's your congressperson? Is that Gwen Moore?
Gwen Moore in my area is Gwen Moore.
Okay, a Democrat. And you guys are still catching hell.
All black people. Black sheriff, black police chief, black mayor, and black county executive.
See, but then it kills me when people say, well, we need to get more black representatives because that means we're going to be represented well and things will get better. I said, that's not what that equates to.
It is a policy. Look at what's happened out there in Illinois with the mayor and the county supervisor.
Oh my God.
There. So it is not that you need more representation. It's what they do, what they have. It's a policy, be it black, white, or indifferent. It is the policy of the liberal and the progressive.
Let me ask you this, and then we gotta get out of here. With my brother Orlando Owens, founder of the Project Move the Needle out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in a very important battleground state, in a very important city, trying to move the needle to increase the Republican turnout in Milwaukee, just to move the needle, right? And particularly increase the black voter turnout. Those disgruntled black folks that have been Democrats who are now sitting in the middle as independents, weighing their options. And I think Brother Orlando's goal, and I think he's done a good job so far, as to laying out the case as to why Democratic policies are a failure for our country, for our inner cities, for the black family as a whole. And so I love what it is that you're doing. But let me ask you this. Is illegal immigration an issue in your city?
Yes, it is. It is an issue because, I have a lot of Latino friends and I rock with that. But everybody can respect the fact of legal immigration. Black people, just like in Chicago, we are a mirror image of Chicago of the number of black people who are on the system in this dense population in Milwaukee who feel as if other folk are getting more help than they are. They're getting their crimes, forgiven, but black folk ain't getting their crimes forgiven.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I told you we could do this all day. Damien Jones podcast with our brother Orlando Owens. Will Milwaukee turn red in 2024? Will Houston turn red? Will Chicago turn red? Will Orlando turn red? Will New York turn, the Bronx turn red? Will LA turn red? Will Atlanta turn red? There's a lot of work to do. We take nothing for granted. The goal is to re-elect Donald J. Trump. And I think you and I are going to do our very best to use our voices, our platforms, whatever we can do to get with you. Hey, I'm looking forward to that Republican National Convention coming up next month. I hope that I can, get up there into a fellowship with you, my brother. And we'll talk about some things offline as to how we can work together. But I appreciate you being with us on today. Give us some last words, how folks can get in contact with you or reach you if they want to.
Please go to our website.
Okay, I think my brother's phone. Did his phone
Hear me?
die? Okay, yeah, I hear you now.
Back in.
I thought the phone died. You got a phone call.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
You hear me now? Sorry about that. My phone rang.
Yeah.
Hopefully the image, I know I'm frozen. But you can go to our website at OrlandoForwi.com. That's Orlando, OrlandoForwi.com. It's our website.
Give me that website one more time.
Project Move the Needle.
Give it to
Can you
me
hear
one
me?
more time.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I think that phone call threw us off. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me. I can't hear you, but I'll go ahead and push on. You can go and you can donate on our webpage. My phone number is 414-803-6003. That's 414-803-6003. I am the Orlando Owens on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, Orlando Owens, or Orlando for Wisconsin. You can see all those and just follow me and do whatever you can to send donations, because we're going to hire a team and we're going to have Black, young, and brown young people in the heart of Milwaukee going in the block to get stuff done.
Absolutely. Yeah, I put the website on the screen, Orlando4wi.com. Reach out to this brother.
I can't hear you, but I'm just gonna nod and agree.
Yeah. Reach out to this brother. This good brother. He's gonna do some good work. Orlando, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on the Damien Jones podcast. Until next time, God bless you.